In this video, I'm going to talk about the differences between a Turbo 350 and Turbo 350C, the C being the variant that takes a locking converter. So we have on the left a case, valve body, spacer plate, and gaskets from a TH350 non-locking. And then on the right, we got a Turbo 350C along with the valve body, auxiliary valve body, spacer plates, and gaskets. So I'll spend a little bit of time talking about the differences, and then I'll also spend the latter part of the video on discussing how to convert a TH350C to a TH350 non-lock up. All right, so if you want to just quickly be able to tell the difference between a TH350 and 350C, maybe you're at the junkyard looking for cores, or at a trans parts warehouse or something like that. All you need to do is look at the side of the case on the driver's side, 2 o'clock position relative to the selector shaft, and on a TH350C, you'll see a case connector. The TH350 non-locking, that case does not have a bore for the case connector because it simply doesn't exist on a standard Turbo 350. Now, if for whatever reason you can't get access to the side of the transmission, however the front is visible, then you'll be able to see the input shafts. And if the input shaft of the transmission you're looking at looks like this, which is somewhat reminiscent of a 700R4 early 4L60E, then you know you're looking at a TH350C. So only the TH350C has the pilot at the end of the shaft with a O-ring seal for the converter clutch. Other case differences include fluid dam here in this valley, and then you also have a 5th check ball for the converter clutch, which is not present in the TH350 non-lock up. So as you can see, if you're looking at the valley, there's no dam, and then you have no converter clutch check ball. All right, taking a look at separator plates. This is going to be the separator plate for a TH350C, and this is the separator plate for a non-locking TH350. So look toward the 12 o'clock position at the top of the plate. You'll notice that in the non-lock up variant, there's a large circular drain back, and then you have 2 other bolt holes. But on the locking variant, you have a series of cutouts for the converter clutch. On the TH350C, this is where the auxiliary valve body goes, and that valve body is responsible for working the converter clutch. So it'll go just like this. You see all the feed holes here. All right. TH350C valve body gaskets, same kind of deal. So on your valve body spacer plate gasket, you have a series of holes at the 12 o'clock position. Whereas on the equivalent gasket for the non-locking TH350, you just have your drain back cut out and then your bolt holes. Valve bodies are exactly the same between the two except for one thing, and that is the governor pressure switch on the TH350C's valve body. So on this location right here, you'll have the threaded port so that the governor switch can be installed, and on the same location on the non-locking TH350's valve body, there's nothing there. The valve lineups are identical in form, in design, in function. There's literally no difference between any of the valving in a TH350 or 350C's valve bodies. They're exactly the same in every other respect. All right, so let me talk about how to convert a TH350 to a TH350C to a non-locking TH350. So the first thing you're going to want to do is acquire a complete pump assembly from a non-locking TH350, as well as either an input shaft or an input drum assembly from a non-locking TH350. You cannot run the non-locking TH350 pump with the input drum assembly from your TH350C. You gotta swap them over as a matched set. The next thing you'll need to do is take the auxiliary valve body, and you see the converter clutch lockup valve in here, or maybe you can't. There it is. You'll need to take this bore plug out. It's a little end plug. You just simply press on it, and then the retainer pin will fall out. Once you have that out, there's going to be a spring inside here. You're going to take that out and you're going to replace it with something to prevent this valve from stroking. It could be a piece of hose. It could be some sort of metal rod. Basically anything that will prevent this valve from moving. Then what you're going to do, and I'll put it on the plate again so you can kind of see, you're going to need to block off the feed through this port right here by my thumb. Okay, so this is where the lockup solenoid goes. Okay, that's a lockup solenoid. You can either block this off with a solid piece of gasket material, or you can run some sort of block off plate, again with a solid gasket material. Either way, you got to block it off. And then the last thing is this check ball here. You'll leave that out. In fact, if you wanted to, based on what you're trying to do with the transmission and how you want it to shift, you can leave all the check balls in the case out except for one, and that is the modulator check ball right here. And I'll zoom in a little bit. So this is the modulator check ball. It's in the exact same location on the non-lock up case, so that's going to be right here. This is going to be your 1-2 check ball. This is going to be your 2-3 check ball. Over here is going to be your reverse check ball. And then, like I said, up in this obviously doesn't have it, but you'll have your torque converter clutch check ball in the TH350C case, which you'll omit. So you can omit all the check balls in the case, and other than the modulator check ball, you have to leave that in. If you leave that out, you're going to have no line rise and you're going to burn the transmission up. But other than the modulator check ball, which again is in this location right here, you can leave out the rest of them and it will shift firm and crisp, even if you otherwise leave the hole sizes alone. So depending upon your converter stall speed, your gears, what you're trying to do with the transmission, cam grind and all that will determine, how you calibrate your shift firmness, drilling the separator plate, the shift holes 1, 2, and 2, 3, as well as, how you want to, what you want to do with the check balls, and as well as blocking off accumulators. So those are the differences between the cases, and that's also the proper procedure to follow for converting an otherwise TH350C to a non-locking variant for performance or heavy-duty application. Everything else inside these cases, as far as hard parts is concerned, your planetary gear sets, ring gears, shafts, other than the input shaft, of course, intermediate clutch, direct drum, even the forward drum, the drums themselves are identical. It's just the shafts that are different. Everything is the same. Center support, intermediate sprag, low reverse clutch pack, intermediate band, or manual second band, I should say, all the same. So all you really need to do is swap over the non-locking TH350 pump assembly along with a non-locking input shaft, or input shaft from a non-locking TH350. Put a stop on the converter lockup valve, block off the feed port underneath the lockup solenoid, and then leave out the converter lockup check ball. It's check ball number 5. All right, that should do it. Thanks for watching.